Hey, Doc, a lot of talk about injuries in the league and how much it has to do with the compressed schedule. What's your view on that?
It's probably true. I mean, I don't know, but you got to say there's got to be something there. I think there's a lot of things. Obviously, I think that's it, and just rest in general. As far as the guys having to get up every morning. I know that sounds not that big of a deal, but when you're getting in at 3 a.m. and you're getting up at 7 or 8 back in your car and then going to sleep, I think all that probably plays a role in it. And then sometimes it's just one of those years. So, I mean, I'm not smart enough to figure out some of the injuries, but there are a lot. I will say that.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Shane Young.
Hey, Doc. Hope all is well with you today. I know obviously you have your own team to focus on, but in your time coaching Zoo and seeing him play this season, what have you thought about his development?
He just keeps improving, I'm a big fan, as you know, and so no, he just keeps improving. Obviously, his minutes have been cut a little bit this year because they went out and got Ibaka, but with Serge out, Zoob's been able to play more again, and he's just showing how important he is to their team.
Next up will be Kai Carlin.
Hey, Coach, just real quick, wanted to ask about Tobias. I saw he's listed as questionable tonight. Is there any update on him?
Not yet. Doubtful, probably, but we'll see.
Is this the same injury that kept him out the Thunder game?
Yeah. Whatever injury that was, the answer is yes.
Got it. Thank you, Coach.
Next question will be Lawrence Murray.
Hey, Doc, how you feeling today?
Great.
So last month when you came to LA, you commented about the contenders in the West. I wanted to ask you about the MVP. I mean, you have a candidate in Joel. He's been great on both ends of the floor. He's missed some time. He's clearly elevated his game. Clippers have a couple guys in Kawhi, PG. Some will say they're great candidates, but maybe some will say they cancel each other out or they've missed too many games. So I just want to know, you've been a part of this league for almost 40 years straight, and I just want to know how this year has been the most challenging MVP discussion from your perspective.
I don't know about the 40 years straight comment. That was some bull right there, man. Jesus.
Hey, you've been around. You've been around, and we respect that. I had to think. I'm biased, but I think it's Joel. And then, if I was voting, which I don't know if I'd vote on that, but if I was, it would be Joel, and then probably the kid in Denver. Those it'd be nice to see a big guy win it for a change.
Next question will be Jake Fisher.
Hey, Doc. As teams go down the stretch run of the regular season, I know under normal circumstances, maybe even more so this year, a lot of in-game strategy comes down to lineup experimentation and all right, we're going to run our 9 guys through 3 quarters tonight and see how that looks. Is that different at all this season in the truncated schedule without practice time, especially? Because it also seems like, unlike you guys, all the contenders across the board kind of have to be adding in these new additions at the deadline or injury type guys. Is it different this year versus years past?
I don't know. We've had enough injuries. I will say that as much as anybody probably in the league in that way, but we haven't changed our roster much. And I just felt like we made our changes before the season started. And so we had to integrate that. I think there's a lot of different things with lack of practice time that teams will do before the playoffs for sure. We use shoot-arounds, and we never did, or I never have. And so we've decided that that's the best way right now is to, work on stuff doing shoot-arounds. It's not the same, though, I'll tell you. Working on a defensive shoot-around compared to a live real NBA defense is a big difference. But that's what we're all kind of straddled with, and I think everyone's trying to do different things.
Keith Pompey.
Hey, what's up, Doc? How you doing? Doc, what's the latest with George? Where is he at in his rehab? What's he able to do? And do you guys have a timeline for his return?
Well, no timeline, but I think sooner than later. We had a good workout yesterday. a live workout. I think that may have been his first. You know, we had today he was on the floor, but not live. Tomorrow we'll be able to do a little bit more. You know, then we have a couple days that we can do some work. So we'll see. I would say sometime next week would be I guess optimistic, but I'm optimistic, so I'm going to go with that.
And when you say live workout, was he like with some of the low minute guys? They came in yesterday and he did like a 5-on-5 with them. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, we didn't have 10 guys, but we threw some of our bad basketball playing coaches out there. But at least it was up and down. His hand seemed to do okay. His lungs didn't. That's what he told me. So that's going to take some time though.
All right, thank you, Doc.
Yeah.
And we'll wrap things up with Bobby Manning.
Hey, Doc, I got another general question about this last year. So with players in isolation the last year or so, more or less, have you noticed it being harder for them to tune out what, media, analysts, fans even are saying about them online? And how have you learned to handle that in your career?
I just don't read it or listen to it. It's been easy for me, honestly. And I know everyone says they don't read. I don't, not because I don't like to read. I used to read Keith Pompey stuff all the time. But now that I'm not, now that I'm in Philadelphia, I read everybody else's stuff. I just don't read my home stuff. That's how I've always done it. And I'm not that active online, but this is a new generation, Bobby. I don't probably have a great grasp, but they are definitely involved more with social media. There's no doubt. And a lot of guys read every comment and all that stuff. And some don't, I know Chris Paul, who I try to use as an example for all our guys. When the playoff starts, he goes dark on everything. And I think that's a pretty smart thing for all those guys to do. But, some guys, that's their relaxation. So, we'll see. Sorry, Keith.
Thanks, Doc. All right, Coach. Thank you.